Hello everyone, this is Yasir from Fairfax QS Center. In our previous video, we understood the site administration module of application lifecycle management tool that were included creating a domain, then creating a projects in the domain, besides creating a user and setting up their password and assigning a user different project. In this video, we'll actually closely work with our brand new project client report that we created in our first video. The life cycle of this project would include how many releases we're gonna have for this project, and each release how many cycles we're gonna have, besides the requirement management, the test cases and test plan management, and defect tracking and identification. So let's start. Okay, so I'm in server virtual machine that has ALM installed. I already opened the application lifecycle management tool in front of me. If you remember in our first video, inside administration, we created the brand new domain finance, then we created the project client report in that domain. Then in the next step, we created the user with the username Chris and assigned the project client report to the Chris. Always remember that you can create more than one users and assign to the project. So it means that our project client report can have more than one user. One user may manage its requirement, another user may manage its, the test plans and test cases, and then there might be more than one developers on this project. So once the project is created through site administration module, it is ready to work with. So in order to manage the life cycle of client report project, we will have to go to ALM desktop client. Click on ALM desktop client link. Right now we have only one user, Chris, to work with client report project. Enter the password for Chris 123456. Click on authenticate button. Okay, and this is letting us know that Chris is assigned to client report project and client report has finance domain. Click on login button. So if you will see the left side panel, these tabs are actually the different phases of software development lifecycle. In management, we have the releases, then there's the requirement management, then testing and defects. In this short video, we will only focus on management tab, how to create different releases for the project, and then the cycle in each release. So let's move forward and create a new release folder for our project client report. But before doing that, if you see these all buttons, new release folder and new release, are grayed out. In other words, these buttons are disabled. We cannot create new release or new release folder. So here's a new concept. The Chris has read-only access to our project client report. He is not the site administrator. In order to work with the project and manage its life cycle, the user must be the site administrator. So how we gonna do that? Let's go back to site administration link and make Chris the site administrator of client report project. Log out from here. Click on home icon. So let's go to site administration and make Chris a project administrator, a site administrator of client project. Click on site administration. Enter the password. Click on login button. Ignore this warning, click OK. Okay, so if we go to site projects, we have the domain finance. Expand this domain, we have projects, expand the project, and here is our client report project. Select that project, and in right side panel, go to project users. So right now we have only one user, Chris, and if you will see, this is the project administrator. Check this box, and now Chris is the project administrator, a site administrator of client report project. So now log out from here, click on home icon, and let's go back to ALM desktop client where we can manage the life cycle of client report project. Username is Chris, password is 123456. Click on authenticate button. By default we have a domain finance, the project client report. Hit the login button. Now you will see in the top panel that these two buttons are enabled now. It means that we can create the release folder and new release. Click on this button, new release folder. Give the release folder name as 2018. We're gonna have first release of client report project in 2018. Hit OK button and you will find that 2018 folder has been created under releases folder. The next step is to create the actual release. Click on new release button. So here's the new release window. The red mark text is the required field. Enter the release name. For example, we would say R1. We have decided that for the client report project, we will have two releases in year 2018. So first release would start from 1/1/2018 and it will end at 6/30/2018. You can also use date picker control, but just to save time, I'm just entering it manually. Enter it again. You can also give that optional description. I would just say first release. Click on OK button. So you can see our first release has successfully been created. In the right panel, you can see the release information. This is the release name R1. This is the release ID that is auto-generated, and our release would start from 1/1/2018 to 6/30/2018. Here is the description of the release. So similarly, just create another release. Click on new release button, select 2018 project and new release button, and give the release name as R2. And this release would start from 1/7/2018 to 12/31/2018. Okay, you can also give the optional description that is second release. Click on OK button and our two releases are created for year 2018. Now these releases can be further broken down into more cycles. So to create a cycle, select the release, for example R1, and click on new cycle button. Okay, in a new cycle we have information that our release would start from 1/1 to 6/30/2018. So we can say that R1 can be further broken down to two cycles. The first cycle would start from 1/1/2018 and it would end at 3/31/2018. With the cycle name can be, for example, cycle 1. You can also enter the option description. I would say first cycle. Okay, click on OK button and you will see the cycle 1 has been created under R1. Repeat the steps to create cycle 2 for R1. Select R1, click on new cycle. The new cycle start date can be 4/1/2018 to 6/30/2018. Enter the cycle name. The cycle name, for example, it can be cycle 2. Enter the option description. I would say second cycle. Click on OK button and you will see in R1 we have cycle 1 and cycle 2. Similarly, repeat the steps for R2 and create two cycles for R2. So if you will see this complete picture where we have releases, and then in the releases folder we have one folder 2018, and in 2018 we have two releases R1 and R2. So this picture actually gives us the best environment to develop our project using iterative software development life cycle, just like Agile SDLC. If you remember our slides, we taught you that in Agile we actually divide the projects into manageable chunks, and instead of providing the project in complete fashion, we just give them the pieces of the project over the time. So now we have created our releases R1 and R2. So the next step is to specify the release scope. The simple definition of release scope is what we're actually gonna provide in this release, how we're gonna deliver in this release. So by default you will be on this tab. Click on the release scope tab, okay, and click on small plus icon, new scope. This is new scope item window. Enter the information. For example, we can say the name of first scope item is user registration. The priority of this scope item is high because without user registration you cannot go inside the application. Okay, the owner who actually gonna manage this module. Right now we have only one user, Chris. You can have more than one user for one project, but by default we're gonna say that Chris is the owner of this module. You can also elaborate this user registration module. What actually we're gonna do that? We will say that okay. The second tab is content. This is very important tab that will come back later in the videos. Just for now you can say that we have the requirement, test sets and defects. This will act as a traceability matrix. We can move further from different modules. Go back to our detail and we specify the name as the user registration, its priority is high and owner is Chris, and this is description. Click on OK button. And you would see that the new scope item has successfully been created in our scope window. You can go ahead and create the scope items according to your project requirement. To save time, I created the scope items. You will see this login module and then manage daily report. So these three scope items are related to R1, and similarly if you will click on R2, I also created two scope items for R2. It means that release 2 we're gonna deliver these two modules. The next step is to create the releases milestone. The simple definition of milestone is to keep track of different software development phases. So in order to create the milestone, click R1, that is the release, and click on new milestone button. Here is the new milestone window. Give the name of the milestone. For example, we would say UI development, and the start tracking date is 1/1/2018, and the end tracking date can be 1/20/2018. So we are giving 20 days to UI development phase. So the description can be like develop the user interface of project. Click OK, and you will see under release we have one UI development milestone. So you can go ahead and create milestone for project releases. For R1, I created code, QA testing, UAT and production deployment milestones. You can also go ahead and create a milestone for release 2. You can also map your milestone scope to your project release scope. In order to do that, select your milestone, for example UI development, click on milestone scope tab button, and so far the list is empty. Click on select button. So these are all your R1 release 1 scope items. Select any scope item you want to add in your milestone scope and click on arrow button. Okay, now user registration UI development has been added in UI development milestone. So you can select as many scope items as required. Click on manage daily report scope item and click on arrow button. So this is very basic functionality of your management tab. we created the releases folder, then releases, and we identified the scope of each release, and then we created the milestone of releases. There is one small tip that with each functionality like release or milestone or release scope, we have one option available that is called attachment. If you go to the attachment tab, we can attach any kind of helping document with each item, and this helping document can be in MS Word format, Excel format, PDF format, any picture. So in order to attach this helping document, click on attachment button, select the file from your computer. For example, I do have one file on my desktop. Just click file and hit open button, and this file has successfully been uploaded in my milestone tab.